Hello everyone, I'm from Gearbox News Network, and in this video I'll be going over the good and the bad and deciding the answer to the question of was Battleborn worth the investment.
Hey guys! Gearbox News Network is on!
I'd like to start this video with a disclaimer that nobody outside of Gearbox Software and 2K Games know how much it actually costs to market and create Battleborn. We're going to use outside numbers associated with other traditional AAA development costs and add that for the marketing budget. For this video, we're going to assume that the development cost of Battleborn was roughly $40 million. This is so high because of the amount of labor, tools, and paying for the roof over your employees' heads is very high over the course of a 2 to 4 year development cycle. With that assumption of development cost, we're also going to cut that number in half and add it to $40 million to include the cost of marketing Battleborn, which brings the total cost to produce and ship Battleborn to roughly $60 million. We know Battleborn had over 1 million sales before the price change and the addition of the free trial version in 2017 because Randy Pitchford celebrated Battleborn for this achievement. The base game prior to the free trial version was $60 retail. There was also an additional purchase option of the Digital Deluxe Edition, which sold for $80, and an optional Season Pass, which sold for $20 retail. Assuming every single person who bought Battleborn on Steam alone, which, according to the Steam database, was nearly 1 million total owners, paid for the standard version and didn't buy the Season Pass, that puts Gearbox and 2K evening out their investment. Combine that with the unknown amount of console, digital, and physical sales, and we know for a fact that Battleborn did profit. But there's more factors to consider about the game than just the price tag. The reception of the game and its audience are also factors to consider when weighing the total investment of Battleborn. Battleborn was a huge risk by Gearbox, a very ambitious new game that was entirely online and needed a concurrent player base to survive as a game. Unlike Borderlands, which was a single-player / co-op only game, Battleborn was entirely online with public queues to join single-player / co-op missions, and with a diverse set of maps and modes for multiplayer. This is where some problems start to arise for the game, and total investment starts to depreciate in theory. Battleborn was not received as well as many believe it should have, being in the shadow of a much larger title, Overwatch. The influence of Overwatch on Battleborn is something that is still present to this day, as everyone still compares the two titles even though they're very separate games. This, sadly, meant that Battleborn's player base was bleak from the get-go, peaking on launch day at 12,000 players on Steam. Generally assumed that the player base on console started much higher than this, but still depreciated over time. When last checked, the concurrent players for Battleborn peaked at 50 daily players on Steam. For Battleborn to be worth its investment, it needed players, and though it had some which continued the life of the game updates up until the end of 2017, past that the value of the players was not worth the cost of adding new content. But to Gearbox, was Battleborn a failure? According to Randy Pitchford, no, it was not a failure in the eyes of Gearbox. To Gearbox, they made an awesome game and shared it with a passionate, albeit small group of dedicated players. And boy are those few players dedicated to this game, hosting community events to this day that still get support not only from Gearbox but from voice actors and other Gearbox staff. So, the final answer to the question I proposed in the start of this video, is Battleborn worth the investment? I'd like to argue yes, as long as someone, anyone, still plays this game and has fun with Battleborn. And because financially, the game should have made somewhat of a profit. So, in conclusion, the game Battleborn was arguably well worth the cost of creation due to the fact that there are still people enjoying the game more than 3 years later, and the game should have at very least broke even in the cost of marketing and development. This is Dave, signing off.